Welcome everybody to the Watchlist, your weekly virtual TV guide right here in the Latin Nerds Network, where we go over all the new shows that get released on streaming and let you know what's coming out each week so you can create your very own watch list. Before we get into anything, I'll introduce my co-host as always, who's going to give his best recommendations or non-recommendations as it were. Live from Houston, Senor Jaime, excuse me, aka Chewy. What it is, brother?
Happy Sunday, brother. Happy Super Bowl Sunday.
Sunday to everybody out there, which means either you're a huge sports fan and get into the game, or you're a huge commercial fan, get into all the commercials. You're a huge nerd and watch all the nerd trailers. Everybody wins today in this Super Bowl weekend, God damn it. Any predictions? Whoa, this prediction is that Chewy's losing the Super Bowl, apparently. Any prediction for today's game? For the folks at home?
I say 31-31 tie.
31-31 tie. It's a wonder you still exist in the world.
No, I say Chiefs. The Chefs.
I don't know. I'm stuck. I don't know. I'm gonna go 27-24 Chiefs. It's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be close. I honestly don't know though, but whatever. We're gonna get a whole lot of traders, so that's kind of get the juices flowing, if nothing else.
That's all I
exactly right. Who wins, whatever. Doing a Super Bowl square, so I have some dough on the line there. So everybody wins. So that being said, let's get not a big week. It wasn't a whole lot of releases. So we're actually gonna talk about those two releases that came out basically, and we're not doing a show next week, so we're gonna give you 2 weeks worth of stuff, and it's a lot of stuff. A lot of shows coming out in the next couple weeks, so gonna keep your time full for those who enjoy streaming and watching shows. So there's a lot of stuff to go into as far as what's coming out. But some good news first, Chew. Besides the fact it's the Super Bowl. And we have a resurrection. Not an in memoriam today, a resurrection. It's a miracle from the gods.
I saw that. Well, is it the one I'm thinking about?
Well, it's a recently canceled show from Netflix starring the great Neil Patrick
That doesn't
Harris.
say much. Yes, it is the one I'm thinking about.
Uncoupled,
yes.
It got picked up by Showtime.
Which to me seems kind of weird because Showtime is shedding their shows and merging with Paramount. So I
mean, they saw something in the show. Like I said, I don't know what the numbers were, so I don't know. But for the fans out there, and I liked Uncoupled. I thought it was a fine show. It was funny. So hey, it's bringing it back. So the fans who were disappointed, you're getting a second chance to catch up on it. So that's a good thing. I'm not sure when it's gonna get released season 2, but yeah, the little good news. It can't always be sad in memoriam at time. You gotta mix it up a little bit. So, but that being said, I want to kind of go over before we get to the new shows. Kind of since only a couple of shows we're talking about, go over some of the better shows that got released over the last year. I guess this year anyway, this early part of the year.
Yeah.
Ongoing or finished. So I had you give me 3-4 shows you wanted to bring up. I have my own, and 2 out of 3 were equal. So I figured different shows. I figured we'd talk about those as well. So we won't spend too much time with these, but these are shows that you should be watching if you are not watching. I assume you may be. So the first one, and this is obvious. This is a no-brainer, and that's The Last of Us on HBO, which is down to its 5th episode. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it a little later on today.
Oh man!
Yeah, I know they kind of moved it up early. I was supposed to watch it yesterday, and I couldn't do it. So I heard it's a great episode. Nonetheless, I'll catch up on it. Like I said, I haven't talked. I was doing their explaining and having an idea what this episode is going to bring. So I know it's pretty good. But yeah, dude, I mean, I get different perspectives. I'm a gamer, so I played the game. So my take's different in terms of what I'm seeing and what I'm expecting. You're fresh off the boat, if you will. Don't know anything about the property. And I know we talked about it initially. You enjoyed it, so obviously your enjoyment for the show has continued. Clearly, what you thought so far? So I thought it was we saw 1 we spoke about it. Now it's been you've seen 5, I guess.
Well, I've seen. I'm all caught up. I caught the episode yesterday just to get ahead of the game.
Right? Yeah, I didn't get a chance. But yeah, so your thoughts on now that you see nowadays? I guess half the season.
Yeah, halfway through the season, I mean, they seem to be able to give you that emotional moment in every single episode. I mean, it's just where it tugs at the heartstrings, or it makes you, feel what they're feeling. And I think that's what's so unique. This is not Walking Dead, okay, for any the zombie fan genre out there. This is probably the anti Walking Dead, if anything else, because with that show, you see the care at the beginning, and they kept every season killing more, killing more, killing more until you got to the very end, right? And at the end, you didn't care about anyone anymore. This one, it's we introduced characters in 1 or 2 episodes, even some of the one episode, and for right off the bat to the very end. I mean, you're like you care what's going to happen to them, and you see the tragedy coming at every episode, and they keep doing it to you. They keep pulling you in and they keep breaking your heart. And I think that's what makes this so great.
Yeah, so then I know exactly what you're talking about since episode 5. That's what I figured was going to happen.
Yes,
So
you know what's well,
yeah, exactly.
So you know
Again, it comes down to execution, right? So I've heard it's executed very
but,
well.
but anyway, with those characters, you played the game, so you kind of know what's
right. Yeah, I have an idea what this episode is going to be. And I'm excited about it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, this guy. I mean, God, it's so good. It's so good. The episode 3 was phenomenal.
Yes.
Such a good episode, incredibly written episode, and I talked about it before on Nurse Planning right here on the Nurse Network every Thursday. I haven't released the next episode yet, but I'll drop it. But that being said,
shameless plug.
You know what the hell? We talked about the third episode and how good it was, and how this show does a good job of sticking to the source material and giving us expanding on other things that they haven't. Right? I know you haven't played the game, Chewy, but the whole third episode with Bill and Frank, as it were. They obviously Bill was a big part of that first game, right? And they allude to Frank, they mention him and their relationship and all that, so that's all established. But they don't get deep into the weeds as this episode does. They expand on them and that world and what the impact that it has on Joe and all that. Very cool. Because even Frank, they show him in the game, but they show him when he's already dead. He's hanging because he got bitten, so he hung himself. He's still hanging there in the house, and Bill didn't take him down for obvious reasons. But yeah, so stuff like that is great. And even the fourth episode, which is great because that was the one really establishing that Joe-Ellie relationship. Because the whole game is based on that, right? That doesn't work, the show doesn't work, nothing works, right? And that moment in the truck, right? There's a scene in the truck where she's finding the magazine. And the sticky pages and all that stuff, which is kind of funny. That is virtually a shot-for-shot, dialogue-per-dialogue taken from the game. Exactly. And those are the moments that the game has, right? And that when I saw that in the game, I was telling Eric about this. When I'm playing the game, that's the first time I said, oh, wow, this is something different, right? It seems like a meaningless scene, right? You don't see those kind of scenes in video games like that, but it shows the building, that development, the character and relationship. That was cool. My girlfriend, she was, because this is the second time I was playing the game because it released in HD and all that, so you keep buying it. But she's out to the side,
Sucker.
Hearing the game, whatever, hearing me play the game. And she turns around eventually after that scene and all that because it leads right into the crash. It's like just like the show does. And she comes down, I was like, oh. What is that? I was like, playing the game. She's like, oh, she heard the whole thing. I was like, what? I thought that you were watching a movie or something because it felt so real in the acting and the story. It's like, and it didn't sound like a game, but it is, right? And that's what made the game so great. All that game's translated over, perfect, man. This is a great show, man. And it's funny because the viewership, this has increased 60% since the first episode, which is
it's been going up every week.
It's a ridiculous number. 60% increase in viewership is ridiculous. That's a huge increase from week to week. Going back to why Netflix doesn't do that, I don't understand. But HBO knows what it's doing. Great show, absolute must watch as far as I'm concerned. Best show of the year so far. I know it's early, but it is what it is. But yeah, you guys have to watch it. If you haven't, get on board, no doubt about it. Like I said, yeah, Chewy, other people don't know anything about the game. Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Doesn't matter. It has no bearing on your enjoyment of the show because they've changed what they need to change. They've taken shot for shot, but like the third episode, that story is not in the game.
The which one?
That whole 20-year the third episode.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's alluded to it, but yeah, that's it.
It's alluded to, but here they dedicated a whole 20 years to that story, right? Told in an hour and a half episode, and it was done beautifully, impactful. And like I said, they took elements from the game, but now had this improved upon where it needed to be improved upon, expanded where it needs to be expanded.
You're adapting source material. That's the way you adapt it, right? Taking the best of both worlds and changes what needs to change. So great job on them. So far, I can't wait to get the ending on this one. Another one. This was surprising. This was on your list real quick. I didn't quite have it that high at all. To be honest with you. Lockwood.
Well, I mean, like there hasn't been this much. Well, I guess I misunderstood what you were asking for.
I mean, I just was looking for recommendations, but you recommend this one. So Lockwood and Co. is one that.
Yeah, we talked about it a few weeks ago when it was coming out on Netflix, right? Little Supernatural. I don't know if we talked about the first episode or not, but Supernatural. Oh, we did. Okay.
I enjoyed it. You only had seen one at the time. I saw like 4 or 5 at the time. So you obviously finished it. So it was fine. I didn't. Hate it. It was good. I don't think it reached the heights I wish it would have.
I didn't hate
You hate it. What a
it.
recommendation. I didn't hate it. No, it was good. It was a good show. Just all the show. It's a fun show. But Chewy, obviously, you
it's
enjoyed it.
it's it's no boo bitch.
Well, what is? But obviously, you enjoyed it, Chewy, and you're recommending as one. Um,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, it gives you something different, right? It's not your typical supernatural type show, right? Where this is kind of they built the world where ghosts and spirits exist, right? And they're real. And there's a certain faction, certain age group that can fight them and see them and feel them, right? And so that's the kind of the world that they built, and it kind of goes from there. And I found it enjoyable. It's good mystery behind it, some good action, and it's one of these unique shows that's not your
yeah.
typical fantasy genre type of show. It's not sci-fi. It's not it's not a crime thriller. It's just one of these shows. It's like you look at it, it's like okay, interesting premise. You don't have to believe in ghosts, but they bring you into the world where it
Yeah.
exists, right? And so you're forced to
They did do
believe.
a good job with the world building. I'll give you that on that one. I mean, let's see if
Mhm.
this is season two. I don't know, but it's a good watch. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, enjoyed like all that, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show.
Mhm.
I'll bring up
Yeah.
one of mine for you. Bring up one that we shared together, and this is Shrinking on Apple Plus, which I've been really enjoying, man. I liked the first couple. I love the third episode. The last one was funny. I just, Jason Segel, as he's recovering from his wife dying. He's still having going through issues, and he's a shrink, and he's changing his philosophy, getting probably more personally involved with his patients more than he probably should. Harrison Ford's in here. He's his boss, mentor, whatever, friend, whatever you call it. Funny show, man. I'm enjoying it. 30-minute episodes. It's a good watch. I like what Siegel's doing. He's doing what he does, but it's enjoyable. I'm laughing. I love Harrison Ford here. He's just
I'm waiting for Neil Patrick Harris to make a cameo.
that would be
Yeah.
fantastic. Uh, you know, he's got he cannot. He's got to film on couple too.
I'm just
Season
saying.
two. But I'm enjoying this one, man. I'm liking this one. I recommend this one. Apple Plus usually does good work, and this is this is worthy of an Apple Plus name that it has before it. So, Chewy, you liking this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine show. It's funny dramedy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Elements of drama, elements of
Yeah.
comedy. Uh, it's not too deep, right? I mean,
No, it's not. It's just fine. Which is
yeah,
fine. That
yeah, which is
never
fine.
again.
It's
Everything has
because
to be
it's
take go peek under the hood and all that. We don't need all that.
no, 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 no. But it's one of these shows you can kind of kick back and enjoy and get a good laugh here and there and kind of relate to, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the different characters and what they're going through. One has anger management issues. One has relationship issues. The daughter is obviously trying to reconnect with her dad because the dad just abandoned her for the last year. Because he was in with grief, not just
Mm-hmm.
her, but so and obviously the boss who has does the
Yeah,
Parkinson's
Parkinson's.
or onto the Parkinson's and so it's definitely a unique collection of
Yeah, it
characters.
is. That's what makes it. It's a great palate cleanser, right? You see all these shows. Last of Us, not a great show, but it's the heavy shows, deep shows. This is what you can just watch and like, okay, right, and just that was cool, right? Kind of wash everything away and deal with it. Even Dear Edward, which we've been watching, is very heavy. This leans
No, it was
very heavy,
very
right? This
heavy.
one's like again good palate cleanser. You watch something like that, put Shrink in, I was like, okay, I went back to back to normality. Get your emotions in check. This last one here, which is one you talked about a couple weeks ago. I was gonna wait a while, but it was such a light week. I jumped on it, and I'm glad I did. And you had it on your list when I asked you too, and that's The Godfather of Harlem. Wow. Um, I really like this show, man. This show is. I saw the first season already. I was gonna watch a couple, and I was like, I gotta keep watching. It's so freaking good. This is borderline, maybe must watch as far as I'm concerned. It's on MGM Plus, but Hulu does have the first couple of seasons. We have Forrest Whitaker, who plays Bumpy Johnson. This is based off true events,
Mhm.
true characters, I guess. He's a yeah,
Yeah. I think Bumpy Johnson has had Malcolm X.
yeah. Muhammad
It has
Ali
some
plays
obviously
yeah,
Muhammad Ali. It's got some obviously some political characters that are all based on they're real, right? They're not made
right.
up. And obviously the Italian Mafia, which obviously that probably has a little bit of fantasy element as far as the makeup, but the main heads are obviously all guys that existed in the '60s and
Yeah,
'70s.
60s. Bumpy Johnson was, obviously, in the show, he gets released from Alcatraz, doing an 11-year
Mhm.
stint. He goes back to Harlem. That was his territory. And now he's trying to claim back his territory from the Italians, as they call them.
The
So
the
the Guineas.
Guineas.
So he has to navigate those waters, and then taking place in the 60s, right? Obviously, with the turmoil with the social injustice, he's navigating all kinds of stuff.
Mid
Yeah,
'60s, dealing with obviously the the civil rights movement.
Yeah, which is why Malcolm X was involved, who knew Bumpy Johnson, and it does, intersect with the events like with Kennedy assassination and how that affected Malcolm X, right? Obviously, the words that he chose to say during that time. Muhammad Ali, winning the title, converting to Islam, et cetera, et cetera. Giancarlo Esposito's on here. He's fantastic. He's a politician. We got
and Mr. Kingpin himself.
If I can forgetting his name, but
Vincent D'Onofrio.
There we go. Who's great in the show. Good gangster show, and it doesn't sit there and rely too heavy on the civil rights stuff. It's there as part of it, but it's still focused very much on the gangster aspects of the show, right? Territories and drugs and back deals and assassinations, et cetera, et cetera. Good show, man. This is really good. I'm surprised how good it was. I knew it was gonna be good, but I'm shocked at how good I actually liked it. You're actually caught up, right? You're watching season 3, or I don't know if you finished it or whatever.
Yeah. I'm on season 3. I think it's a weekly drop. I'm not sure. For some reason they didn't drop one last night, or I didn't see it, but yeah, it's a weekly drop. It's part of the MGM Plus network now, which they acquired Epic streaming services. So there's a lot of good shows actually on that stream, but this is, I think, the marquee one at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's probably 6 people who have MGM, so whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, stop it. It's not
the this isn't, it's not even Peacock, right? Let's be honest, in terms of how many people are down. I assume MGM's probably low.
I'd say, you said, but I think there's better shows on MGM Plus than there's Peacock. As far as original,
there, I'm with 100% because Peacock's probably the worst one out of all the major ones, right? It is. Let's be honest, but. I mean, like I said, Hulu does have the first 2 seasons, right? So what I might do, and you could do, and follow what my lead here is, watch. Again, you have to watch the show, watch it on Hulu, and you get the 7-day trial at MGM, watch it in a week. The third season, and cancel it. There you go. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly
that is an option.
Exactly what I want to do, so I can catch a third season. I don't know if I'm wait a year to season, comes out on Hulu or whatever the case is. So, but yeah, this is a great show, really good show, 3 seasons, and definitely catch. I was surprised, and I'm glad you brought that up too. It's really, really good.
I mean, that's what we're here to uncover the hidden gems out there. They don't have to be on Netflix or Hulu or
a lot of great shows,
Disney
a
Plus.
Lot of stuff. A lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of options
AMC,
out there. You probably definitely want to bring it to the forefront.
AMC, Paramount's been coming up kind of strong with some of their lineup, so there's a lot of stuff out there. Apple Plus, obviously, we've been raving on Apple Plus for the last year and a half. And we'll talk about that very shortly. They got some shows dropping over the next couple of weeks. This week, only a couple of things. So we'll focus on a couple of shows. So one is kind of a documentary series. Narrated by the great, of course, Pierce Brosnan, James Bond himself, and it kind of goes. Every episode focuses on one of the great heists this world's seen, or whatever the case is. And
you son of a bitch!
Heist. I mean, I love a good heist, as do you. Only one episode is on History Channel, so it's a weekly drop. You can catch it on cable, of course. It's very cool, man. I like it because I love a good heist, and these are true heists. And the first one they start with.
No, this is real life.
Exactly.
Not made up, right?
Obviously, there's a real heist that actually occurred, and they go into the planning and the people involved and what happened after the fact. And the first one was really cool because it sounds like a movie. You watch it like this is like Ocean's 11. It's like people actually come up with this stuff. You think like it's not whatever, and they're doing these things and the planning behind it. The guys involved, they have their own names. The first one, some guy's called the Genius because he's like a tech guy. And
the Genius, the muscle,
whatever, right? So now these kind of names that are legit names, right? It's the kind of stuff you think in a movie. Someone's writing a script, oh, call him the Genius. It sounds stupid, but it's real. And
they tricked, right? Magnet tricks, the keys. I mean, all this stuff. It might be a little bit of luck, right?
Obviously, exactly.
But they had to figure out how to crack these safes and get in and get out, right? Get the stuff and figure out how to get out, and kudos to them. Now, unfortunately, human nature kind of takes over.
That's so frustrating.
Guys start to panic unnecessarily. Whatever, they get sloppy and or they get arrogant. And lo and behold, look what happens.
They slip and they don't follow they don't do what they're supposed to do, and end up getting caught in the most ridiculous but frustrating way. If you had made a movie of this, I was like, all right, it would be great, right? And it's like some stuff you're like, yeah, it would never happen in real life. No, it happens in real life. Exactly how they do it. So yeah, a very cool show, very cool documentary on this.
But one guy did get away.
One did get away. I'll give him that. One guy. Everyone else, dumbasses. But yeah, it's funny, but it's really cool how they get caught. It's fascinating. Very cool show. I'm enjoying. I want to keep watching this one, of course. And the last one. This was season 4 of You, of course, on Netflix. Part 1. They're doing 2 parts. One March 9th. 5 episodes now. I assume 5 episodes in March 9th.
In
I
March,
think this will
yes,
be the
correct.
final season.
They split it
Yeah,
up.
final season. I assume, of course.
Is it the final season?
I heard it
I
was.
don't think so. Was it? Okay.
That's what I heard. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is. But that being said,
Okay.
we know what this is. I always call it Dexter-like because some similarities, but it's just a very very light version of Dexter. I love Dexter, but it's still a good show, right? In the back in season 4, I'm not gonna get too into it because if you haven't started watching by now, you're probably not. But yeah, 5 episodes, seen a couple. It's fine, I guess. I don't know. I know it kind of trying to reinvent itself now because it's more about almost seems like a murder mystery, a Glass Onion kind of style kind of thing, more than it does what the show usually does in a way.
No, it's not multiple murders, right?
Right,
If
exactly.
you've seen anything, it's not just whereas before the focus it was on him, right, and his inner demons, right, and him trying to find love, I guess, in a weird kind of way. But here he's trying to turn a new leaf, right? He's trying to be a new person, new identity, right? He did some things to get to that point, but whatever. But now all of a sudden, I guess he's uncovered, and someone's working behind him, and now killing people, and he's got to figure out what's going on, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's the people, the suspects, this new group of folks that he surrounds himself with, and obviously, at least one of them is whodunit, right? Kind of deal. It's fine. Like I said, it's fine. I mean, whatever. Like I said, I've never been impressed with the show. I enjoy the show. I watch it, but it's not one I'm raving about. It's a lot more. There's better shows to watch. But I get it if you're into it. Obviously, I'm going to recommend it because if you've gotten this far into the season, you should continue to finish it. Particularly, this is the last season. But it's fine. It's good. Like I said, season 3 was okay for me. And this one, so far, it's maybe below that one. So it's not on a good trajectory for me anyway. I don't know if you agree with that or not. But
I think it's just even keel.
No, that's fair. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, exactly. Yeah. So that's basically it for we say 2 shows this week, not a lot. But
that was it.
Don't fret, because next 2 weeks is jam packed with all kinds of stuff, and luckily I have a lot of time off to enjoy some of the shows that are coming out, so we can talk about it in a couple weeks. So let's get into it. A lot of stuff starting on Wednesday, the 15th. Red Rose on Netflix. This is a I don't know if it's a limited series or not, but a series involving some teenagers and an app that they come across that can kill you or something along those lines.
Well,
something like that, or mystery behind an app that leads to death.
Yes,
whatever the case is, and it sounds stupid, but it reminds me. I was get off topic here. For those who have seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall, there's a scene where Jason Segel's character, and I forgot the other guy, Brand, his name. What is his name? The singer from Infinite Sorrow in the movie. But they're having a conversation with the girlfriends and Kristen Bell's character is an actress, and they talk about a movie that she did that didn't get released here, or was a very small movie, about a cell phone that kills you. And they're like making fun of her because how does that cell phone kill you? It rings and hello and you die. Like, how you end it? Take the battery out, movie over. That's it. And it's that simple, so stupid. And this reminds me of that, where it's like, okay, a killer app is out there. Just don't open the app. I don't know. There you go. Problem solved. So I don't know, but whatever. Off topic, but I'll watch it because it's a little horror vibe to it. I'm into that, so whatever.
Actually, before you get to the next one, I do want to mention, for whatever, whoever's still watching it, and I'll probably still watch it. We mentioned how HBO Max removed a bunch of the shows and sold it to Tubi and Roku and whatnot. So they announced yesterday, I think the Nevers, which they only showed like the first 6 episodes, and there was supposed to be a part 2. Sorry. But the next 6 episodes are dropping starting Tuesday on the Tubi streaming service, whatever. Tubi. Yeah, I think it's Tubi.
Nobody. That's people have that, then they have MGM Plus.
Well, it's free, so you don't have to pay anything for it. It's a free streaming service. Ad supported, but they're going to show the set that all the episodes now.
It's not quite a resurrection. They're just finishing what they started.
No, they're just finishing what they did. Okay. They'd already made the show, and HBO decided to chop it up.
There you go. If you're a Nevers fan, for those out there, there you go. Good for you. On the 15th, we got a show. I don't watch this. I never got into it. And it's too deep into the season for me to get into it. But I know you do, and that's Wu-Tang, an American Saga.
Great show on Hulu.
I'm not sure what season this is. I think it's 4 or 5. I don't remember. Or 3.
No, this is 3. 3 and final season.
Okay, so that drops on the 15th. I heard good things about the show. I just never got a chance to catch up on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the retelling of the Wu-Tang Clan story.
That's
right?
what it
from beginning to.
Absolutely.
Peacock
on the 16th. Picard, the third and final, a lot of final seasons. Third and final season.
Did you say Peacock or Paramount?
Oh, it is Paramount. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
Paramount.
like,
Yeah,
what?
you're right. You're right. My bad. On Paramount.
Squeezy?
There you go. Correction made. It's that easy, folks. Technology, I love it. But yeah, on Paramount Plus.
Third and final season, maybe final. Now that we put that in quotation because there's rumblings that it may not be the final season.
They
But
build it
whatever.
as a final season, so I'm gonna go with that until they say otherwise.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that being said, I heard good things about it. I really have, even before we talk about it. So I wasn't a fan of the second one. First one was solid, but whatever. So I mean, I heard it as well. So good. I'm looking forward to that. An interesting one on Amazon Prime on the 16th, same day Thursday. And that's like I said, Joaquin Murrieta, the head of Joaquin Murrieta for the Spanish Challenged. Comes out. It's like a Western filmed in Mexico, I think.
I believe
I
so.
haven't
Yes,
known
sir.
much about it, but the last Western was really good. The English, great show,
The English,
great
yes.
show. So I'm hoping we get the same results on this one. The 17th, that Friday, it's Carnival Road. Speaking of final seasons, the second and final season of Carnival Road. This show I completely forgot about. It got released it seems like 10 years ago. This show came out.
This was it's been a while.
It's just
Again,
pre-COVID.
This is beginning of COVID when this dropped, and then obviously 2 years later, finally.
Yeah, I think it's
they're wrapping it up.
2017. The show came out. Am I wrong in that?
No, 2019.
19? It may be. I want to check right now, but it's been a while. I'd say Orlando Bloom is a very.
I'm pretty sure it was 2019, 2020.
You may be right. But yeah, Orlando Bloom headlines this cast here. 2019.
Cara Delevingne,
2019. So it's been like 3 years at least. It's a fantasy show in a world where fairies exist and stuff like that, and there's a murder mystery involving something like that. I forget. It's been a while since. I wasn't a huge fan of this show, but I'll watch it. What the hell? Apple Plus, same day. Apple Plus, we all get excited. Juices going here. Hello Tomorrow. Interesting looking series. Billy Crudup headlines this one. I guess it takes place. It seems like it takes place like in 50s, 60s era. He some kind of sells them, but there's some futuristic elements to the show.
Right? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's time travel or what's going on, but there's something. There's definitely a sci-fi element to the show.
It looks interesting. So I think cars are flying and all that. So it's weird, right? But it looks like it's from the 50s and 60s. It looks very cool. I'm curious about that. Snowfall season 6, if I'm not mistaken. That's on FX.
Final season.
That comes down the 22nd. So Apple Hello Tomorrow ends the first week. Second week begins with Snowfall. I know you enjoyed the show. I never started watching that. And
I really like this show. That's good drama.
6 seasons. That's not happening. It's just too much. But that comes out. Peacock. Now we get Peacock here. We get the 23rd. Bel Air comes back.
Season 2.
Season 1 was surprisingly good. Right, I didn't expect it. And I was like, "This is a really cool show." I know this is a very low bar, right? That's been set by Peacock, but this is probably Peacock's best show beyond one season. I'll put it that way. Again, doesn't say a whole lot because it's Peacock, and I get it. But this is a legitimately a pretty cool show, a good take on the whole Fresh Prince thing. They kind of reinvented it, using some of the same characters, but updating it to today's times and giving it something different. I enjoy it. That's a good watch. Again, on Peacock. The 23rd, we get season 3, I believe, of The Outer Banks. I'm not a fan of the show. I know you are, and that's of course on Netflix. So that season comes out. Apple Plus, and I'm sorry, Prime Video. We got one coming out on the 24th. The Consultant, which looks very cool. Christoph Waltz, who I love Christoph Waltz. From Django and Inglourious Basterds and others. He plays, I guess, he's a consultant. Obviously, it's the name of the show. I guess some tech company where the CEO dies, and he's been brought in to kind of right the ship or kind of transition to the next CEO, whoever takes over. And he seems to have a checkered agenda, if you will. A lot of death and violence, and who knows? But it looks interesting. It looks actually a really cool show on Apple Plus. Keep saying Apple Plus, Prime Video. On Apple Plus. And it's weird that Apple Plus, the second show we're talking about here, they usually wait a little bit before they drop these shows. So we got 2 in 2 weeks. Dear Edward releasing a couple weeks ago and shrinking. So whatever, it's fine. That's Liaison. The 24th, starring Vincent Carrell, I think his name is. I forget his name. Eva Green. Of course, you've seen her in several films. She's a liaison, so she liaises to them. This is some kind of is this some kind of thriller, like kind of like spy thing or no?
I think so, but I'm a little unsure. I haven't really watched the trailer.
Part of the trailer, and I wasn't sure. But whatever. Either way, it's Apple Plus, so we're always gonna give it a shot. You should always give Apple Plus a shot.
We'll watch one episode and see if it's worth watching.
We watch porn for anything, then we'll give it a shot. But Apple Plus, that bodes well. doesn't mean everything. And then Dave has some misses here and there, but
Yeah.
not for the most part. They hit more than they miss by far. It ain't Peacock, for sure. So like a lot. So that's eight shows coming out. I know there's a couple of movies in there too, but it wasn't worth mentioning, to be honest with you. Some other stuff besides this, but these are the main. This is the main courses for the next couple of weeks. So we'll come back. We'll talk about all these. We'll focus more on the second week's releases and a couple of maybe the bigger ones that we really enjoyed from the first week. Because I don't think Carnival Road's one we're going to be mentioning as a good show. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe,
Are you hating on Carnival Road, dude? Come on.
Dude.
Come on.
I don't know. Whatever, dude. Fine. Carnival Road, I look like the Nevers. It's a little better than the Nevers. Let me not insult Carnival Road like that. I don't want to do them like that. But it's better than Boo Bitch. Hello.
That's true.
Whatever. So again, 2 weeks worth of stuff for you guys to enjoy. We'll be back in a couple weeks on that one. Enjoy the Super Bowl, have your fun, your Papa John's pizza, whatever you barbecue, whatever you do. Enjoy the trailers, which get released before the game anyway. So I'm very excited about that. We'll have a good 2 weeks. We'll be back here soon. Subscribe, like, we appreciate it. See you guys next time.
Peace.